Alright guys, today we are going to be showcasing HANAMI. A lot of people are probably getting to this point where they can get this free SSR character. It's a choice between HANAMI and a choice between JJK. Now I know JJK is super hype, but this character I think is also hype and technically the better character out of the two. Why is HANAMI better? HANAMI just does so much. She has the damage down to the enemies. She has the attack nullification, if that makes sense. She gets rid of their ability to nullify attacks. She has the ability to do a guaranteed hit effect. She heals herself. She gives herself back cursed energy. She just does a lot of different things. So a very, very good character. And today I'm going to be showcasing to you guys what all she can do. So first, let's talk about her skills. Her skill 1 is called Cursed Bud. Deals ranged attack damage to target enemy equal to 110% of Cursed Technique for 2 hits in total. The higher the enemy's ultimate count, the greater this skill's effect will be. And then the skill 2, Roots Piercing, deals ranged attack damage to target enemies equal to 297.4% of Cursed Technique. And then the skill 3, Terra Pulchra, applies 30.2% damage dealt decrease to all allies, or all enemies, I apologize, for 3 turns. That is really, really good. That's going to help you out in like Illusory Tower. Like you could run this character potentially in Illusory Tower on stages where she's not even type advantaged, and that could help you out when pairing it with a Recollection that also gives damage reduction to your team. And then applies 78% ultimate gauge fill rate increase to self for 3 turns as well. That's also massive. And then the ultimate domain expansion, Shining Sea of Growing Branches, applies attack nullification, invalidation, and guaranteed hit. So they can't nullify attacks and it gives you a guaranteed hit. And the ultimate gauge, increased nullification to self, which means you can't increase your own ultimate gauge, and resets cursed energy to 0 when effect ends. So there's some downsides to using it too in a way, but not really that big of a deal. And then deals ranged attack damage to all enemies equal to 868.4% of Cursed Technique. So it is an AoE for 4 hits in total, which is very solid. And then applies a 31.3% damage dealt decrease to all enemies. So you're debuffing them on your ultimate and you're debuffing them on your skill 3, and that is very, very good. If you combine the skill 3 with the ultimate, right, that's a lot of damage reduction, like 60% damage reduction that they can't do to you, which is an insane debuff. That right there is what makes HANAMI so good. So mainly you're going to be using her skill 3 and her ultimate, and then you're not going to be using the skill 1 and the skill 2 all that often. Now as for auto skills, she has regeneration. When battle starts, applies HP recovery, recovering HP equal to 13% of Cursed Technique every turn to self. And then she also has Cursing Talent. When the turn starts, if self's current energy is no more than 10, it can be used only 2 times in the battle, recovers 20 cursed energy for self. When battle starts, applies 20% damage taken decrease to self as well. So that's a bunch of, like, she has so much survivability, right? So 20% damage taken reduced, damage taken reduction for the team, damage taken reduction for the team here. A lot of really, really good stuff for this character. So today I'm going to be running her on 2 different teams. We are going to be taking on the Formidable Foe battle versus JJK. Now, if you know anything about this Formidable Foe battle, green type is advantage, not red type. But I am going to be running HANAMI here, along with 2 green characters and a blue character. Now, I'm using her a little bit differently right here, and I'm not really going for damage. I will do a damage build here in a minute, but I'm going to be using her as a support character here for what she can do. So as you know, JJK can expand his domain right away. Well, HANAMI can do something about that. So let's hop in and I'll show you. Okay, so I switched up the Recollections and the subslot unit because I did not realize that I had the Recollections I had. I wanted Pride on Gojo, so we have Pride on Gojo instead of non-standard. With that said, let's do this. We'll do the draw aggro. We will buff him, and then we will attack with Gojo turn 1. JJK is going to expand his domain, but we can actually do something about it with HANAMI, which is the interesting thing. We will take a bit of damage, but everybody will survive, and then HANAMI can self-heal for a little bit, which she did. Now we want to reduce his damage done with Terra Pulchra, which applies 30.2% damage dealt decrease to the enemy. If we stack it and use it multiple times, like, that'll work as well. It's a little bit better to run Hanami with someone like Kaido, because then Kaido can allow her to use that over and over again, right? And that's a big damage dealt decrease to the enemies, which is massive. Works really well in like Illusory Tower. And then she's also going to give herself ultimate fill gauge, so it's just really solid. And then we're going to draw aggro with Panda for this turn. We want to make sure we heal with Itadori. This is a very good recollection for that, because it gives damage reduction to your whole team of 10% at the start of battle, which we should still have on all our characters. 20% damage taken decrease, 10%. So she gives herself 20% from her auto and another 10% from Itadori. That's why even though she's type disadvantaged, she survived that hit. And then we go ahead and we self-buff with Itadori, and now we go into self-buffing Gojo. So damage dealt decrease is going to be massive. It's going to help keep Panda alive. Alright, it's only 2,000 damage there, 3,000 there. And then we get to do it again and stack it, which is very, very big. Alright, and we self-buff. Hanami now has ult. And notice that if we take a look here, damage dealt decrease, right? That's a 60% damage dealt decrease, so he's doing 60% less damage. And now we're gonna ult him, and it's gonna do another, applies 31.3% damage dealt decrease to all enemies. It says that at the bottom, so we're gonna do another 30% decrease. So for this turn, he's going to have a 90% damage dealt decrease, so he's not gonna be able to do nothing to us this turn. So we're gonna go ahead and we're going to use this. Oh, by the way, I have to point this out. When we expand our domain, we get rid of his domain, so that's even better. So the sooner you can get your domain up to cancel out his, even better, because you won't be taking damage from his domain anymore. So just got to point that out. That is, it shows it right here as well, overwrite. So let's go. And then we do this, and then we can do, nope, we want to self-buff again. Okay, there we go. So I'm not worried about this turn. He literally can't hurt anybody. Ooh, Itadori gets those black flashes in. Love it. Beautiful. 0 damage. Yo! You can't tell me that's not insane. 0 damage. Oh my gosh. Alright, let's go ahead and we will skill 2 this time. We are going to ult with Panda. We are going to skill 3 with Itadori. Then we're going to self-buff with Gojo one more time, yep, and then we'll be able to ult with Gojo next turn. Okay, decent damage. Honestly, we're so fine, dude. It's crazy. Let's do... This one does more damage the more ult gauge they have, so we'll use that one here in a minute. No, actually, let's use this because we want to save up our cursed energy for when we need to reduce his damage that he's doing to us. All right, we self-buff Panda. We go back into self-buffing Itadori, and now we get to ult with Gojo, and Gojo should get close to the break right here. Yep, we did get the break. Nice. 830,000 damage. Love that. And we're getting close to being able to use that heal again. Now that he's broke, let's just continue to use skill 1 for right now. Self-buff, skill 1, skill 1. Good damage. Thank you, Gojo. Thank you for all your help. And now we have Yuta coming in to heal, so that's a good way to set that up. Previously, when I showed you guys the team, I had Nobra. I prefer to have Yuta there just for the heal. Literally, that's all I have him there for. Now we go ahead and we give ultimate gauge back to her. Give more ultimate gauge again, and we self-buff one more time. And remember, it sets her curse energy to 0. I forgot about that just a second ago, so I could have been using the skill 3. But I'd rather do damage while I have him broke and my domain up, right? Rather than debuff him. I don't think it's really necessary, at least on this stage. On harder like difficulties of Illusory Tower, it might be more essential. Okay, good damage. Now he's unbroken. Get that nice heal in. Beautiful. And oh, by the way, Yuta, here's another important thing, cannot heal Hanami because she's a cursed spirit. It actually hurts her, but for like the single digits, it hurts her for like 2 damage. But she self-heals, right? So it doesn't matter. So just keep that in mind if you're wondering why she's not healing. I forgot to mention that. Okay, we do a skill 1 here because we want to be able to skill 3 coming up. Especially with his domain potentially coming up here soon. We're scared of that. The domain will hurt us a lot this next time that it happens. Good damage, Itadori. Ooh, and now we got... Are you serious? Actually killed. Okay, that's nuts, man. If we had the damage reduction, it would have been different. I think we can still finish this potentially. But anyways, you guys get the idea. You were able to see how much Hanami actually did to reduce damage. Like, all the way down to 0 damage is kind of nuts. And honestly, to be able to get this far in this stage without using like any real buffers or at all, like we weren't using Yaga, we weren't using Nanami, we weren't doing the stun strategy and then just nuking with Gojo. We did nuke with Gojo, but like we did that without any buffs on him. It's kind of impressive that we made it even this far. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think we win now, right? Because here comes the domain and we're just gonna get clapped. But we have done very good up till this point, I feel like. Dang, we were so close. Goodbye. Goodbye, team. Yeah, at this point it's pretty much over. So, that is what it is. But we'll take on a different stage with Hanami on a different team. I feel like you got to see really like the usefulness of her ability to reduce damage there, which was the goal. Now I want to show you guys more like her damage and focus on how good that can be as well. Okay, now we're switching to the Formidable Foe stage where she is actually type advantage. So this is going to look a lot better, right? And it's going to be a lot easier, not type disadvantage. We were using, just keep that in mind, that was type disadvantaged on that stage. And she was doing that well. Like she survived the hardest difficulty of Jogo expanding the domain turn 1 because there was so much damage reduction on her, giving herself the 20% damage reduction plus the extra 10 from the recollection. Like, it was really, really good, right? So I am impressed with the survivability of Hanami. Very good character. And then now we're going to throw her on an all-red team and take on this Formidable Foe battle. And this is where the skill 3 is going to come in particularly handy because Maki and Panda can do the AoEs. Well, those AoEs are not going to hurt our team very much. And then we got the self-heal here. We got the heal from Yuta for the other two. Like, it's going to go very, very well. All right, so we're going to start by buffing. We are going to buff with Itadori here as well. It gives break damage and crit rate increase to himself, but break damage for all allies, which is pretty good. Then we're going to skill 1 with Hanami. It would be nice if we had a little bit more cursed energy at the start of battle. That's okay though. It's not that big of a deal. We'll skill 1 on the little guy. And then we are actually, I should have switched out this recollection for something else, but that's fine. We'll do this with Yuta. Alright, so he's almost broke. That AoE damage, we can reduce that amount of damage with Hanami coming up right here. Alright, so less damage from them. And then the little guy should get broken right here. There we go. Beautiful. Yep, they're doing a lot less to us now, which is perfect. Alright, and we need to actually use like skill 1s with Yuta now, so that way we can heal with him. More damage reduction though, so we'll stack that, right? So I'm not even worried about anybody dying. 30%, and we're gonna get another 30% from Hanami right here. And she's gonna get her ult. And then when we do the ult, even more damage reduction, 1000 damage, like nothing, right? So here comes the ults. The ults are going to do nothing. I know people on this hardest difficulty have had the ults one-shot them before. Well, they are not. I'm gonna let Yuta not attack here. I could probably wipe them all between the two of them using them together, but I want you guys to be able to see their ults. So I don't think Hanami kills on her own realistically, or at least I hope not. I don't think she will. She'll kill this guy, but I don't think she kills the other two. And then we do this, and then we skill 1, so you can hopefully see their ults and see. I do believe we survived their ults with the damage reduction that Hanami has done, because they are. Actually, let me go back here real quick. they have damage dealt decreased by 30%, 30%, and now once again they're gonna have another 30% from Hanami's ultimate. Alright, let's see how much damage she does. It's actually really solid, right? Like we did break both of them. Half of their health bars. That's pretty decent. Like, it's not going to be Gojo Yuta level because she's not an attacker. Her stats aren't like that. But for a debuffer character to do that type of damage, come on, guys. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. All right, and now we go ahead and we can ult here. Honestly, it doesn't matter. They're both broke. I wanted to see the ultimates. I forgot. Man, I wanted to show you guys that we could survive the ultimates, but we broke them too early. Well, if they were to ult us, we would have been fine, but whatever. It's okay. Itadori just straight up kills, and then Yuta kills Panda. So very easy with this team to clear this formidable foe battle. And we could have probably cleared it a turn earlier, honestly, if we just used Yuta. Hanami did too much damage right there. Breaking them was a bit rough. I wanted to see them ult, and I wanted to see the damage reduction, but there will be enemies eventually that you take on where they are able to survive that stuff, and they will be able to ult you. I'll try taking on an illusory tower stage. I'm going to take on the current one I'm on. Now, red is not type advantage, so I'll probably still get clapped, but it'll be a good chance for you guys to see the damage reduction actually in action. So just keep that in mind. We're probably going to lose, but you'll get to see how good Hanami can actually be to help the team. Okay, so I decided to take on floor 26. I'm technically on floor 27, but floor 27 has debuff nullification, floor 26 does not. So hopefully we'll get to see those debuffs in action from Hanami right here, hopefully to help keep our team alive and just allow our team to pop off. Now keep in mind, yellow type is advantage, Hanami is red type, so we won't be doing the most damage, but once again, using Hanami for the debuffs. So we go ahead and we buff all allies. Then we skill 1 because we can't skill 3 yet, but when we're able to skill 3, it's going to be big. 30% damage dealt decrease, like we won't even have to worry about damage. Then we will skill 3 right here, and then we are going to skill 1. Keep in mind, we also have the extra damage reduction from the recollection on Hanami here at the start of battle. Alright, beautiful. 64th, wow. Yaga's half dead. It'll be okay though. Now we'll go ahead and decrease damage, skill 1, and we will go into self-buffing. And we can stack that damage dealt decrease, which is going to be... Ooh, I think Yaga would have died otherwise right there. Okay, now we can do the heal. More damage dealt decrease, skill 3, and another self-buff. And now Megumi can ult. But this is really good for keeping your buffers alive. I know a lot of people in Illusory Tower have trouble with their buffers just getting one shot, right? So if you've been having trouble with that, running Hanami will help keep like Yaga alive. Alright, now we get to do this. We'll ult right away and self-buff. Another 39,000 damage type disadvantage is actually kind of impressive. Alright, he got stunned for that turn, so he wasn't able to do anything. We don't want to use our domain because we will cancel out Megumi's domain. You can see the override right there. Where are we at on damage dealt decrease though? By 30%, by 35%, and then he has an extra 45% damage taken increase. So we'll decrease his damage again. Just keep that going so that he doesn't do anything to us. We will skill 1 right here, and self-buff with Gojo one more time. Gojo should be able to nuke pretty hard right here. Beautiful, yes, attack him. Alright, skill 1. Skill 1. Skill 1 one more time, and now we do the ultimate with another use of pride. I kind of wish he had attacked someone besides Gojo because we would have been able to see the damage reduction, or Megumi, but that's okay. We don't need that yet. We'll use our domain next turn, so we'll skill 1 right here. And then we're going to skill 3 now, and we're going to skill 1. Gojo will go away after this turn. We're not even getting to see the damage reduction in action because just attacking Gojo and Megumi, that literally never happens. Usually they try to attack Yaga. It's so funny. Okay, anyways, we will activate this just to give Megumi back his ult faster. Now we're going to expand our domain, and we're going to put more damage. We're going to put damage reduction on him because we don't have any on him right now. That's what the domain will do. And then we'll do this, and then we want to self-buff with Nobara. We should actually get a... No, we won't. I was going to say, we should get a break here, but the type resistant isn't going to allow us to break him, unfortunately. Megumi might get the break. We'll see. Really close. Not quite, though. That's okay, though. Alright, so he's about to do an ultimate. He has damage taken increase by 38.9%. Damage dealt decrease by 31.3%. So, yeah, he should not be able to do anything to us. We'll debuff him again just in case. Skill 1. We'll stack nail counts on him. Alright, you're not doing any damage to me. Yeah, we're fine, we're fine. We are able to cancel out our domain if we want to with Megumi right now. Actually, we will. And we're gonna skill 1 right here one more time. If we don't kill him. Nice break. Alright, now we got 6 nail stacks. That's beautiful. We'll go for the heal on Megumi. We will skill 1 to increase damage, and now we do this. And Nobara should be able to get pretty close to killing here, I believe. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Beautiful. So using Hanami and Megumi's domains in tandem is pretty interesting. Obviously, we cleared that floor for Illusory Tower fairly easily. I'm surprised. I actually expected it to not go that well, but it doesn't work on stages like floor 27, where the enemy has debuff nullification. But any floor of Illusory Tower where the enemy does not have debuff nullification, Hanami is actually goated because you saw how much damage reduction they do. So not only do you have, like, running that particular team right there, not only do you have attack nullification with Gojo and Megumi, you also have attack reduction on the enemy team for these two. So even if they get hit, they're not dying, right? So it's actually a really, really good combo to run this particular team right here for Illusory Tower. But hopefully that showed you guys how good Hanami can be as a free-to-play unit. I do think she is the go-to choice over Jogo. Whenever I'm able to buy Jogo on Global, I will do a showcase for him as well. And same thing for Mahito whenever he gets released. But if you guys enjoyed the video, please consider going down there, hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button. And thank you guys so much for watching and supporting the channel. Peace.